and instead you gave it to the monastery. You think you can place yourself above others and do whatever you like? Suit yourself. I told you what I wanted you to do with my coin, but leave me out of it. I apologize, but I feel a little confused in your presence. Thank you for coming, Johanka. I hope you're not offended by this meeting place. It's your preaching. In truth, I don't know whether I'm speaking to you or the Virgin Mary. Divine Providence led me back to Sassau after many years. I've encountered many things in my life, but I never before heard a true prophetess speaking. Someone who would find some wealth that I lost and donate it all to the deserving in Sassau. I notice you have an armed escort with you. This may be yet another ray of divine providence. You see, I'm looking for someone with an adventurous but honest soul, and my eyes were opened, and I decided to do some deed for the common good. Is that so, Henry? Johanka, I'd like to thank you kindly for your visit. I don't wish to detain you any longer, and by the same grace I heard the words you preached. And you're right. It came to me that it was time for me to make amends for my sin of long ago. It's not ideal terrain for horse riding. A donkey would be better, and my own attempts at recovering it ended as they did. When you reach a small ruined settlement, you're at the right place. The treasure is hidden in one of the ruined houses. I can't remember which. You'll have to search. In the woods by Sassau. I can't say quite precisely. It's been a long time since I hit it. Anyway, from there you should follow the trail deeper into the woods. I doubt much has changed there over the years. After a while, you come upon a forest trail that joins with the stream. You're young and agile, so you shouldn't go tumbling head over heels there, as I did. Most of the way you have to go uphill along the stream that flows into the river next to the Sassau quarry. It seems peculiar, I admit, but this treasure has more than a monetary value. It's the embodiment of my guilt. As Johanka said, we are those sinners, and we must rebuild those walls. That's why it must be this money, even if it were only 1 groschen. And how did you get on? As I said, you've no need to go any further than the Sassau Rathaus or St. Martin's Church. I believe Bailiff Haschek or Father Fabian will handle the donation better than that disorderly monastery. As I said, you've no need to go any further than the Sassau Rathaus or St. Martin's Church. I'm not absolutely against giving a donation to the monastery. I can only hope the overseer handles property better than before. The money was gone? So I'll never be able to make amends for my sin. I was praying that I could avoid that fate. I fear it more than you seem to. I wish you a better destiny, Henry. Thank Johanka for me. It was a Cuman who took it? Maybe I'm destined to endure the weight of my sin until the end of my days. I doubt it, but it might be God's will. You could be right. Maybe God wanted to show me how wealth is fleeting. After all, generosity is a quality of man, not of silver. However old a man gets, he's never wise enough to understand God's mysterious ways. Thanks for offering to help, Henry. And pass my thanks on to Johanka, too. Perhaps not in your eyes, but in the eyes of the Lord. How do you mean? Thank you. Who did you give the money to? Thank you, Henry. And give my thanks to Johanka, too. You know, I'd have done the same thing. Perhaps it'll ease my way through the gates of heaven. God be with you. I promised you some reward. Perhaps you'll find it useful in helping Johanka with her mission. God be with you. It was an honor to meet an honorable, selfless man like yourself. Thank you. Perhaps in the end you did the best thing. Even if it's only a gesture, that we are concerned for those poor wretches. Please give my regards to Johanka, and my earnest wish that the overseer will let her have at least a few groschen before he puts on a feast to celebrate his good fortune. My memory may not serve me as well as it used to, but I don't recall giving you my blessing for that donation. Still, I shouldn't lose my temper with a simple village lad who does something foolish with the best of intentions. Johanka is a truly remarkable woman. I'd like to know what shall become of her. It'll certainly be a fine church here, but I doubt it will surpass Peter Parler's church of St. Bartholomew. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't take that embrocation with me. Sassau, river of my youth. Ah, the penitents knelt before the Virgin in prayer and thanked her for their salvation. Johanka is an exceptional person with an important mission, wouldn't you say? A job like any other, is it? If we were only 1/10 as humble as she, eh? But someone has to deal with the procession of penitent sinners, eh? The truth is even more absurd. I simply lost my footing and tumbled downhill. Who would even imagine that in the ruins of an old settlement lies a real treasure trove? It's like this. In the last year of Emperor Charles's reign, I came here to Sassau to close a profitable deal, but it didn't turn out entirely as planned. and I was obliged to hide some of my money in the woods near the town. I tried to go and recover it myself, and I can be glad that I didn't pay for that attempt with my life, as you've probably noticed. Anyway, at the point where I fell, there's a forest track that joins the stream. There's a small stream that flows into the river. Following it upstream seems simple enough, but actually it took me a long time getting up that slope. As if that weren't enough, I lost my hat there. Meanwhile, I'll give some thought to who we shall donate the money to. Agreed? Actually, I'd rather you made the donation for me. I'm in no shape for running around now. Just come back when you've found it, or not. As I already said, I tripped and rolled quite a way down, after which I considered it wiser to abandon my search. I'll describe the way there. You can enter the woods between the quarry and the marshland. You can see the spot from here. If you follow it closely, and you'll need to keep your eyes peeled, you'll come upon the ruins of a settlement, and in one of those ruins the money is stashed. Who knows? If you should find it, you're welcome to have it. As you can see, I've already got a new one. You are indeed an adventurous soul, Henry. As I recall, I hid there not only a large amount of groschen, but also something else. Nothing valuable, just a dagger which will be rusty by now. Please bring that to me too, as a memento. Good luck, Henry. And thank you. I had the impression that your only interest was to help your hanker. But so be it. I'll give you a reward once you've done the job. I see you've a lot to learn from your hanker about humility. But so be it. Find the treasure, and you shall have a small reward. Both places carry the same weight for me. The important thing is, I know Bailiff Hashek or Father Fabian will handle the donation better than, say, the monastery. The Virgin Mary chose Sassau as the place to reveal her message, didn't she? You don't have to go any further than the Rathaus or the Church of St. Martin. Certainly, but its financial affairs are handled by the monastery, which has a very poor record in that respect. I'd rather the Rathaus or the church had the money. But I suppose you're right. I'll allow a donation to the monastery. That's not how I meant it. It's just that, as a Kolin councillor, I had a certain property dispute with the monastery. If it were only the scaffolding, I wouldn't put it past them to build a new nave too, just for fear of St. Procopius's wrath. I'll leave that to the nobles. I'm not going to pay for some Tower of Babylon. The town or the church deserves the money. I can't say it's something I care to repeat, but as you wish. I am by nature a cautious man, so I wasn't taken by surprise. I was quite prepared for their trap, so I let my associates get caught in their own ambush. And in case any of them should get out of it, I hid some of the money in the woods. I'll spare you any unnecessary details. It really is quite a straightforward story. Since King Wenceslas succeeded to the throne, I have lived an honest life and enjoyed a respected station. For that reason, too, I forgot about my treasure until now. I confess that our practices weren't terribly honest. Upon my return to Kolin, the council there accepted the remainder of the money with gratitude and absolved me of any blame. They even allowed me to buy myself a bailiff's office. Many years ago, I was engaged in long-distance trade, and my partners and I made quite a lot of money. It was inevitable that our deceitful dealings would catch up with us, or rather with me. My associates arranged a deal here in Sassau that they contrived to be the last in my life. Just so. He who has acted unrighteously must make amends. I swear by Almighty God, Monsignor. You speak boldly. That pleases me. Not to worry. I'll happily tell you more. No doubt another divine sign that I ought to leave the search to someone such as yourself. Well, we sold short measures of cloth, mixed sand with salt, and gave fictitious origin to wines. We passed off local wines as Italian and diluted the good ones with water.